Hi, everybody.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Oscars night.
Yes, we thought we'd get dressed up for all of you who decided to join us tonight. Maybe you're multitasking and watching both the Oscars and us.
We're hosting with the audience of just Dine and Dee.
Yes, this is the Dishin in the Kitchen pre-party Oscar party? Pre-Oscar party?
Well, they're midway through.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it is. Probably 2 hours or something.
Are all of you watching? Were you watching? How's it going?
Yeah, I think people were... There wasn't a lot of movie action. Like, there was no theater action, so it's kind of an odd year.
Yeah.
Remember, if you listen to us frequently, we'll bring up Bill Maher. We watched that, and he kind of made fun of the fact that nobody had heard of the movies.
Right.
Or that they're, like, all depressing documentaries and nothing that's... He went on a whole rant about how, yes, it's good to have documentaries and meaningful movies, but also... people want to be entertained once in a while.
Absolutely.
So he used like King Kong as the example of like escapism. You kind of want to escape your routine, especially this last year. You didn't want to see more depressing, serious stuff probably.
Right. Yeah, we needed
But
happy, joyous, fun.
Yep. Speaking of which, we're talking about Earth Day tonight, which is depressing.
No, I mean, we're celebrating planet Earth.
Our home.
It was Earth Week.
It was, and which is technically over. But every day should be Earth Day, really, especially now with all the crises we face with climate change, mass extinction, what else? I mean, all sorts of things.
Yeah, who do we have on today? We have Dana. Hello, Dana, watching with my kids who are night owls. We have Doug.
Well, it's not that late. I guess it depends how old they are. But
Doug's not impressed with the Oscar setup. Disappointing. Interesting.
people have been watching. It's been a thing, though. Like, all the award shows have had declining viewership.
Yeah.
It's not like what it used to
So
be.
for all of you that are joining us, if you guys shared this video, we are trying to get 50 shares. And if we hit 50 shares, then we will be giving away a special gift to one of you at random. So let's get this shared to all of our friends and family so we can celebrate Earth Day together.
Absolutely. And if you've been paying attention to us promoting tonight through the week, we have special guests that we're talking to. Many of you are already fans, but maybe you don't know their whole story. So we're talking to the Herbivorous Butcher folks,
which we're really excited
in a little
about.
bit. Yeah, brother-sister duo, cool story. And they've got a bunch of projects. And... you know, we're not going to try to convert you all to be vegetarians. We're not vegetarians. We talk a little bit about being flexitarian.
Yeah.
You know, and the undeniable fact is, as we're learning more, especially in recent years, we're learning the impact that what we eat has on the planet and carbon emissions and destruction of habitat. And we need more forests rather than less.
And it's not only good for planet Earth, but it's also good for ourselves and our bodies.
Definitely health issues
internal,
with that too.
So
many of you probably seen. I mean, with Netflix now, everybody watches all these documentaries. We were watching a really good one last night that was going into talking to like Olympic athletes, like high performing athletes who became plant-based diet and like it completely changed.
Is it the Game Changer?
I think it's called the Game Changer, yeah. And we happened upon it accidentally. When I was watching the preview, you missed the first 2 seconds that talked about the food part of it, and you're like, what are we watching? Some sporting event? And I'm like, no, this is actually, they had a bad trailer for it.
Co-producer, directed by James Cameron, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold was in it.
Jackie Chan was another executive producer. So a lot of big names, really good, really interesting. We highly recommend. You should definitely check it out if you're looking for any.
Yeah, we didn't finish it.
Earth Day documentaries.
Did we finish it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was late. It was one of those Saturday nights where we fall asleep on the couch. And
So who else do we have? We have Connie with us. Hey, Connie. Always good to see Connie.
loyal Connie.
Yes, Patty. Always great information from you both. Absolutely, Patty. Kerr is saying hello from Duluth.
Frigid Duluth. You know, we might hit 70 tomorrow. If this warm front can lift north, Duluth will be like in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Yeah, right.
Oh, we should also talk about, though, it is April the 25th.
Speaking of the Oscars.
And any of you who are, you know, cult followers of Drop Dead Gorgeous, like we are.
This is Miss Congeniality.
Oh, Miss Congeniality,
but,
sorry.
Yeah.
Different pageant movie.
Yeah, it is still a pageant
Same
movie.
thing.
But another favorite pageant movie of mine. Love Sandra Bullock in this.
People always share this every year. Describe your perfect date.
April 25th.
Because it's not too hot and not too cold, and all you need is a light jacket. That's what we have, a light jacket.
Yes, exactly. It was a little chilly today.
Yeah, this year you really needed more than a light jacket.
Yeah.
It was barely 40 today. Many of you saw it snow at times. There were parts of the state that it actually accumulated. Luckily, it was just falling here. And
Yeah.
hopefully that's the last one, because it's almost May.
Yes. Can't believe it already.
I know.
But hey, let's pop some champagne.
Because it seems like this was
tonight.
just 2 months of March.
We're not making a cocktail. We're popping a bottle of champagne to celebrate planet Earth, but also because champagne is said to pair really well with our
What we're going to be eating.
Yes, what we're trying tonight. So,
Yeah. If you've been following along the last few months, we haven't actually been cooking in here. We've just been drinking. And
because drinking's more fun.
But we have actual food to eat tonight. From the Herbivorous Butcher, because they're opening up a restaurant. We're talking about all that too. And I think it's going to be a hit.
A good rosé from South Africa. One of our favorite destinations, I'd say.
Yes. And everybody's been asking us, you know, it's funny because now that things are hopefully getting back to normal too, everybody's like, well, where are you guys going to plan to travel? And we kind of are planning to stick around here for the summer, because Minnesota in the summer, you know, one of the places we do go to sometimes is Tel Aviv in June.
Tel Aviv.
But that's not happening probably this year because they have a big Pride. And, you know, trying to plan a Pride in June when you don't know right now for sure what you can do, it's just like impossible. So that's going to 2 Prides that'll be out for many places.
Right. So hopefully we'll have some little outdoor festivities here. You never know.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But hey, cheers to planet Earth.
Cheers.
Wonderful, wonderful place to be.
It's the only one we got, folks. You don't want to live on Mars.
A lot better than Mars, yeah.
We're a long way off from that
that's tasty.
transaction.
Yeah. So, I mean, speaking of planet Earth, do you guys know how old planet Earth is? How old is planet Earth?
How old is planet Earth?
I had him guess earlier, and he didn't guess. I mean, he was close, but not quite.
Close but no cigar. Well, I joked. I was only off by 500 million years, and I said that when I was in school, it was the age that I threw out at you.
Were you
now
able
that
to,
I'm 40, that's 5
were
million.
you able to figure out the poll?
We're gonna try. We're gonna try and do a poll, folks.
Cheers, Trudy. Cheers, Mary. Cheers, Paul. You guys are fun to watch. Thank you. What's local? Bill, what are you asking is local? The champagne is not local. Champagne is from South Africa, but our neighborhood feature is local. So let's see, how old
Problem
is
with doing
the
these
Earth?
when you only can really do the polls live, and you have to like write it all out. You know?
Well, let's see, 300 million years, 7 billion.
Oh no, I'm putting
very
in.
old.
Oh, you're reading off comments.
Hello, Zer.
Okay, let's see if this works. I feel like we tried to do this once before and it just froze.
We'll see.
Oh, there. I mean, it shows up on my end. So it'll take a delay, but by the time you hear me say delay, the poll will be up.
Yeah, so while you guys answered how old is planet Earth, we are trying to hit 50 shares. If we hit 50 shares on this live stream, we will be giving a special giveaway. Oh, there it is. There's the poll. We will be giving a special giveaway to one of you at random. So let's hit 50.
50.
I mean, You're 10 years away from
I hit
50,
40.
Not
I
quite
tell you
50
what,
yet.
if the 30s go by, or if the 40s go by as fast as the 30s did, 50 will be here before I know it.
Oh, fun. Susan's oldest daughter's birthday is Earth Day. She's 45 this year. Happy birthday. Is her name Rachel? You're saying hi, Rachel, so maybe it's Rachel.
So let's see. Do you all see the poll? It shows up on our end, but I want to make sure that you all see it. I might have to refresh it to see results. So, yes, 7 votes so far. Or the rest of you not playing. Don't worry, it's not graded. So, how old is planet Earth?
Well, they guessed that. We get this question all the time. Where is your favorite place to visit on planet Earth?
Yeah, I always say that I've never had a bad trip or a place I didn't love. But I do tell people, I'm like, you can kind of tell what places we really enjoy. I'm not going to say favorites are more than others because they have reasons, but places that we go to more frequently. Israel is one that we've been to a lot, but part of that is my Jewish connection, and that it is also like a really great place in terms of you have history, stuff to do, great weather, beaches, history, different cuisine to try. But then obviously I go to Norway a lot because I have family there. But, we've also been to Africa a few times now, or I have. You've been a couple.
Yeah, I'd say Africa.
Africa is kind of a life-changing place. For any of you who've been, you all, I'm sure, have the same impression.
Yeah, Africa, and then Thailand, Borneo.
Yeah. There's so much to see in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, that was a favorite trip. For sure.
I've been twice and barely scratched the surface.
Seeing the orangutans in Borneo was amazing.
That was cool.
Yeah.
And speaking of Earth Day, our great ape cousin, who are on the brink of extinction because we're cutting down their rainforests. And we need those rainforests to absorb carbon dioxide and to be habitat.
Right.
And we saw those proboscis monkeys, the ones with the big noses. Remember how goofy they look?
They look like a Gonzo Muppet.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
What's funny is, so as you guys have been following along, I've been teaching middle school earth science part-time.
Happy Oscar night for Mary Ann. Yes, that's why we're dressed up, Mary Ann.
Oh, I took my jacket off. Oh. I overheat. Being Norwegian, I overheat or too much. Wow, 84% so far are getting it right. We'll just close it. We'll show the results, end the poll. Yeah, most of you guys are too smart. 4.5 billion. Nobody chose 10,000. I threw that in there because if you literally believe the Bible, there are some that think,
the Earth is only 10,000 years old.
And that humans and dinosaurs coexisted, which I always think is funny because there's like a creation museum in Tennessee, I think.
Oh, that's right.
And I'm like, do you think humans would have survived a day with velociraptors?
Yeah, how many of you have heard of that museum down south? It'd be interesting to take a tour around too. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Not everything, and that's not science and religion conflicting. They tell different stories, and the Bible's not, I don't think, to be taken completely literal.
We're gonna give you guys one more before we jump into our interview. Should we do one or two?
For, let's do that one.
All right. So the Namib Desert. Oh wait, that's the answer.
No, just say what is it. How about I don't know. Yeah, well, you kind of gave it away. Yeah. We're gonna do what's the oldest desert, and it's the Namib Desert, which we've been to. Also, you've got Reminiscent Travels. It's me on those sand dunes. That was pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
It's some of the tallest sand dunes in the world too. You literally have like these hot winds in the South African interior meeting the cold ocean current in the Atlantic, and it just creates these waves of sand.
Yeah, and at different parts of the day, the sands look, either a really, really gorgeous orange color, and then seeing the ostrich just kind of running
Yeah.
in the horizon
Yeah,
against the...
You go at sunrise or sunset because you get the cool shadows. And there, sunrise is better, even though it was a pain to get up at 4 a.m, right? In the dark, load up our campsite. But at sunset, it's like 100 degrees. So
Right.
Sunrise, it's like 50.
Sunrise, sunset.
So yeah.
All right, so we're excited about today's neighborhood feature. Aubrey and Kel with the Herbivorous Butcher.
And we say herbivorous. It's hard to say it like 10 times fast.
But it gets stuck in your head. So that's fantastic on them.
And it's a cool name.
Yeah.
And stick around. We're gonna have a little discussion on why eating less meat. We're not telling anybody to cut out meat. We don't. But make it more of like a special occasion.
A flexitarian, yeah.
Yeah.
Just eat more plants.
But yeah, so we had the chance to sit down with them at the end of last week and talk about all their ventures coming up and their cool story.
All right, so Aubrey and Kale Welch of the Herbivorous Butcher. It's always hard for me to say herbivorous.
Say that 3 times fast.
But you guys say it all the time. Joining us, and we're doing this even though Earth Week technically ended yesterday. We wanted to highlight, of course, there's a lot of stuff going around that it shouldn't be just one day, Earth Day, especially now. Our climate is in peril. There's a mass extinction crisis. We should be talking about these things all the time and really living lifestyles that help support the planet. And I guess that's kind of where you guys come in.
I wanted to recreate all the meals that my grandma made for me as a kid. And I used tofu a lot, and it just wasn't quite, it wasn't her chicken, meal that she made for me 3 times a week. So we just kind of talked about it one day, and it was a joke at first. We're like, oh, we have all these meats that we make. Let's open a vegan butcher shop. Hilarious, cue laughter. And we kind of looked at each other and thought, that's actually kind of a good idea.
Yeah, we were drunk at the time, and that's so some of the best and worst decisions are made.
Yeah.
In that state.
How did you come upon the name instead of just vegan deli or vegan shop?
Yeah, I mean, we knew we wanted it to be a butcher shop, and we wanted to use that word. And I think just one day we were like, oh, what do we call it? There's carnivorous, there's omnivorous. Is herbivorous a word? We're like, I think if it's not a word, it should be a word, because clearly some dinosaurs are herbivorous. And then it just kind of stuck. And to this day, people still can't pronounce it.
What do you put in a faux meat product? How do you make it? Because you guys and other things that we can buy in the store now really have matched the texture and that pretty well. So how do you do that?
Yeah, so for our process, we don't have the $1 million machines that can turn powder into strings of chicken, but we do have a lot of time and creativity through the years. So we our product starts with a very high protein wheat flour, and combined with different liquids, vinegars, and a lot of different spices and flavorings. We can get anything from, an Italian sausage, which was Aubrey's original, the OG, to a porterhouse steak. And, it's kind of a marriage of, the flavorings and the methods, but also, the cooking times and, is this product steamed? Is it cooked in sauce? Is it seared first? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we've gotten good through the years at, really manipulating the tiny little aspects of every recipe to create the flavor and texture we want.
Gluten-free. I noticed you have gluten-free options too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of jackfruit offerings, which are pretty popular these days, but I like ours a lot because they get a little extra TLC than some of the stuff on the market. And our meatloaf has always been gluten-free, and all of my cheeses, which is my personal baby, I suppose, they're all gluten-free as well. So yeah, we've got things for all kinds of people.
We reached out to you at this moment, not just being that Earth Day was recently, but also you guys are starting up a restaurant, right? You haven't had a restaurant; it's just been the shop so far, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to be opening up Herbie Butcher's Fried Chicken. And it's in South Minneapolis on 48th and Chicago. And just right around the corner from the Parkway Theater. And it's kind of something that we've always wanted to do. I grew up eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. In fact, when Kale was being born, I missed his birth because I was at Kentucky Fried Chicken. So
we really wanted to recreate that experience for people.
Yeah.
You're hoping you could get them into your restaurant missing births for your fried chicken, right?
That's right.
Yep.
Silent revenge.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we're really excited. It's going to be chicken by the bucket, and every bucket will have a tater tot bottom, and we're going to be doing coleslaw and mac and cheese and biscuits with maple butter and milkshakes and malts. So kind of the, old school American gamut.
The restaurant set to open?
We open on Friday, May 21st. It's changed a couple times. So, pandemic is, it's a little safer out there. We are just going to operate with a takeout window and curbside pickup and delivery. So the space is quite small in there. So we just want to keep our staff and people safe until everything's back to normal.
It's interesting to me about this too is because when people think of like vegan or vegetarian options, like especially like quote unquote fake meat, they think it's just like health food, and that's not, especially as Americans where we have obesity issues, that's not very appealing. So I think that this is interesting that you do a lot of this sort of comfort food too, which can kind of reel people in that otherwise wouldn't consider this. Is that part of your goal there?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been our shtick since the beginning with opening a butcher shop is, it's things that it's a place that people are used to. They probably went with their grandmas or grandpas or parents as kids to a butcher shop. And so it's a comfortable, nostalgic experience for a lot of people. And we kind of feel that same way about fried chicken and milkshakes and malts. So just making people comfortable with the food we make because it is not what a lot of people have eaten in their lives. And we've gotten a great response from it. I mean, the vast majority of our customers are flexitarians and people, meat-free Monday people, and just people looking to try something new. So, yeah.
We kind of glossed over climate change, but maybe you guys can explain why is it so important for people to try to at least make a majority of their diet plant-based from a climate perspective?
Yeah, so industrialized farming is one of the largest causes of carbon emissions. And so in the amount of water it takes to make a quarter-pound burger is astounding. So, every little tiny change, even if it's literally one meal a week, is going to make a huge difference. I mean, if everybody in the world had a vegan meal, one meal a week, it would just, we would go back in time to a time when we didn't have terrible climate change. So
the best way I understood it when I first started, being vegan was it just makes sense, not skipping a step. Like you can grow the plant and eat it, or you can grow the plant and, ship it across the country to feed it to an animal. And that animal has to be processed and shipped across the country the other way. So it's like, it's like skipping a few steps and just eating the plant.
Yeah.
So. Like you can grow the plant and eat.
There you go.
Yes.
Cool story.
Totally. Imagine missing your brother's birth because you were eating KFC.
Well, the other thing we thought, and we didn't say this to them, but maybe if they're watching, we couldn't believe there's a 13-year age gap.
Yeah.
So clearly, Aubrey, eating a plant-based diet is good for aging as well.
Absolutely.
You guys both look young and healthy and fit, and Just like that documentary we were watching last night, like all these athletes, like their performance increased.
Right.
And they also talked about not to get naughty, but like sexual performance change.
They did touch on that.
That was a really interesting little experiment they did
too. Yeah.
So yeah, you'll game changer. I think
it's all about blood flow. You eat some of the animal proteins, and
I mean, a lot of it is stuff we know. Like obviously, we know that if you eat too much red meat, you're getting all the cholesterol and fat and stuff that just builds in your arteries. But there's also some surprising stuff that they said, like even from eggs and stuff that I didn't realize as much.
Got me rethinking my egg consumption.
And I'm not going to give up eggs, and I don't really...
or dairy completely, because the cheese is a tough one for me.
But I am excited to try in the future. Like they have, so Kale said his baby are his cheeses.
Yeah,
and that's
I'm
something
really excited to try.
Those vegan cheeses have come a long way.
Right.
So yeah, well, we know that. So the one thing we have tried is their ranch dressing, and that is amazing.
So this one, when we picked up the fried chicken yesterday, he was like, "Ooh, maybe do you think we should just like pre-taste test some chicken?" I was like, "No, we're going to wait for our on camera, so it's a good reaction
because it looked really good." So Kale fried us up some chicken yesterday because the restaurant's not open yet, obviously, till May 21st or 22nd, they said. And I know a couple people had asked about the address. It's going to be 735 East 48th Street. And it's not going to be dine-in initially. It's a small space, so they want to be safe. So it's going to be takeout and to-go, which with fried chicken in the summer works. It's like a perfect picnic food.
Fried chicken, champagne, and definitely their ranch dressing. So that's one thing that we did allow ourselves to try.
And it's non-dairy. Yeah, you were putting veggies in it.
It's a soy ranch dressing. But in all honesty, I think the best ranch dressing I have ever had, and I've had a lot of ranch dressings.
Well, you're a condiment queen.
I'm a condiment whore, yeah.
For sure.
So here we have Herbie's fried chicken.
They've got their packaging, of course, all ready to go. There's a little bucket you'll get. And what did they say it's going to be? She mentioned it in the interview that they're going to have a tater tot base. Yeah. And then they're going to have coleslaw. So it's going to be like
tater tot base, some good old mac and cheese, which I'm always a fan of mac and cheese. And it's going to be a vegan cheese. So I'm excited to try that.
I mean, can you tell that this isn't actual fried chicken?
It smells...
I doubt it.
So delightful. I'm excited to dig in. So
well, and that's so like they had mentioned too, and we brought up that they kind of dive into a lot of comfort food and stuff. And the thing about comfort food is, it's all about the breading or the whatever anyway.
Yeah.
So like with fried chicken, it's about the breading.
Right.
You ready? And there's probably going to be no bones in this. That's also what I'm excited about. As a kid, that always grossed me out.
Cheers.
You can dip it in.
All right, moment of. Well, I kind of want to taste it.
Okay, but without first.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We have not tried this yet. Pretty darn good to me.
Oh yeah.
I could definitely give up regular fried chicken for this.
Oh, for sure.
Because something like this,
well,
you can put it on.
I guess we shouldn't be double dipping in the age of COVID.
Well, we do live together. But so like, look at that. Even looks. It's got the texture of chicken and everything, which is one of the things that they've spent a lot of time on with all their different imitation meat products. Is the texture and not just the flavor, but the texture has to be right too. Yeah, this ranch dressing is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't know who's responsible for that, Kale or Aubrey, but you. We both said I don't need to buy regular dairy ranch ever again.
Finger looking good. I don't know whose
we're dipping what
slogan that is, but
carrot. It is. Yeah, I think we do. Carrots, broccoli. What else in the ranch? And then pretzels today. Those Dot Southwestern style pretzels. We tried a number of things dipped in the ranch today. This is good.
Yeah,
this is actually really good.
Very good. Try it with the champagne.
Just like the Queen would.
Fried chicken and champagne.
And see,
highly recommend.
A vegetarian or vegan meal isn't always just healthy. It can be comforting too.
Right.
Because I'm guessing
Do you want to try?
I forgot to play the video. They sent us video of him making our chicken yesterday. So you can see it's deep fried. In case you're worried about giving up calories. Let's see. The true test is if a dog thinks it's chicken.
True test is if Dee Dee here.
What do you think, Dee Dee? Well, she passed.
Oh, is that good?
She's like, I've never eaten this bird before, but it's good.
How about that champagne? Can I get some champagne? What do you think, Dee Dee? She says 5 stars.
And this is actual dinner tonight, too.
So, we highly recommend. I guess we'll reveal what that special giveaway is. If we get this video to 50 shares, Sven and I are going to buy whomever dinner to Herbie's Butcher Fried Chicken when they open up the middle of May 21st. So let's get this to 50 shares. Be the first one to try.
What are we at so far?
The Herbie's Fried Chicken. We're at 19 shares. So since it's the Oscars, do we any guesses of who are famously vegetarians?
I mean, some people I'm sure know. Some are obvious, some are not.
A very big celebrity from the Twin Cities. Prince, of course.
Yeah, Prince was a vegetarian.
Yep.
I did know that. Here's the whole list of some other ones. So this is like a list of the top 50 vegetarians. Martin Shaw, Samuel L. Jackson. I didn't know. That one surprised me. Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man. So if Spider-Man's a vegetarian, what other reason do you have? Corey Feldman surprised me. I don't know. Maybe something in the Goonies or I don't...
Paul McCartney?
That one I knew. I'd heard that. Some of these, I don't even know who some of the actors and actresses are, but Paul McCartney, yeah, I did know that one, I think. I think his first wife, or I don't know how many he's had, but the one that's not alive anymore, got him on the vegetarian train.
Demi Moore.
Kim Basinger, I didn't know. Roseanne Arquette, Michael J. Fox, Alyssa Milano, Pamela Anderson.
There's Prince.
There's Prince. Lisa
Tom
Kudrow.
Cruise,
I didn't know Lisa Kudrow.
Angela Bassett. Good old Billy Idol.
Linda McCartney, yeah. I think she's the one who got him into the Ringo Starr. The whole Beatles team, maybe? I think John Lennon was too.
Christina Applegate.
Jim Carrey,
Mark
who
Ruffalo,
I share my birthday with.
Jennifer Connelly. Yeah, some big people. So we'll be in some good company.
Woody Harrelson, I did know because I remember somehow stumbling across that, and
so
it's really surprising.
So with all that being said, I think the Oscar goes to
Herbie
Butcher's
Butcher.
Fried Chicken. You win the Oscar tonight. Yes.
And they're close by to us, and
no, I'm excited.
We're excited to try a bunch of their stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually very excited because we buy a lot of our faux meats from wherever we can grab them. So I'm excited that they're just across the river and we can stock up with their faux meats.
Support local.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Supporting local.
And they seem fun. Once COVID's gone, it'd be fun to hang out with them.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't want to hang out with us, but anyway. If you bring fried chicken anyway.
Right.
Mostly we just did this whole thing to get free fried chicken tonight. No, but it was phenomenal.
No, very good. And it's just a lot easier than going through the stresses of trying to plan and make a deal or a meal live on camera too.
Yeah, we let Kale slave over the hot deep fryer yesterday.
Yeah. So I mean, if
and then I was late picking it up because I broke a glass and cut my hand. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not.
So if you take anything from this, occasionally try a plant-based a meal or meat.
Yeah,
every meal counts.
Because even if you can get most people to reduce their meat consumption. So like this chart, I showed it briefly when we were interviewing, but animal-based diet versus a plant-based diet. So it takes, for the average standard American diet, it's 2 football fields of space because you got to grow the stuff to feed those animals, plus house the animals, obviously. Whereas on a solely plant-based diet, you can feed 14 people with that same amount of space for vegetables. So it's basically like Kale had said in the interview, you're skipping a step if you're eating plant-based.
Totally.
You know, because you're doing double the work and double the food almost to feed an animal to feed another animal. And then if everyone in the world ate a plant-based diet, obviously it would have a huge impact. But I mean, the realistic thing is you're probably not going to get the entire world to do it. But if we can all realize that, and I have more and more just talking about climate change over the last, so I used to be a vegetarian, and then meeting you got me out of that because you always want to share food, and you found it boring that I didn't even eat fish at that time.
Well, okay, when he decided to become a vegetarian, he wasn't the best vegetarian, and he just ate crap.
Whatever.
Well, describe what you would eat as a vegetarian when you first started.
All sorts of things.
Crap.
No.
So now that there are,
I was running marathons. Well, I was not eating just crap.
No, you were.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is easy to cut meat out and eat a lot of things that are not necessarily healthy, but they're meat-free.
Well, and like the documentary went into that we watched last night, the main misconception with how to get your protein, you think we've always been informed or educated
You have to get it from an animal.
You have to get it from an animal, but it comes once you break it down, it's like, well, where does the animal get it from?
Mm-hmm.
From the plants. They're not eating all the animals that we're eating. They're all eating plants, and that's where they're getting their protein. And especially a good old ox is muscly and big. And
what does ox eat? Well, that's when I was a vegetarian. People would be like, "How do you get that?" And I'm like, where do you get your protein? I'm like, where did the cow get its protein?
Yeah.
Yeah, like broccoli is really high in protein. And of course, with spinach and broccoli and things like that, you have to eat a big pile of it to get the same amount of grams, but you're also cutting out all the saturated fats, cholesterol. And I mean, if the ethical component, stirs you, you're not killing an animal in the process either.
Well, that's the biggest thing. If you follow PETA on Instagram, they aren't afraid to show some of the just very, very, very extreme conditions that animals go through, either to be eaten or tested on, and it's just very eye-opening.
Yeah, and like I always said, my sister's on finally, just joining us.
Girl, what else are you doing?
She's got kids. They're playing sports and stuff. Yeah, like I always said, I'm like, if every animal I knew that I was eating came from like old MacDonald had a farm, we think of it as this like normal farm life. And that's why I think Bill had commented, Bill Bussey had commented earlier that know your local farmer. Knowing where your food comes from is important.
Yeah.
Anyway, because you think about it, we're putting this in our body. We should know where it comes from, right? Like we test our water, you want to know where all this stuff's coming from. And also, if you buy local produce, you're cutting down on transportation costs, which cuts down on carbon emissions, and of course, investing in the local economy. But just knowing where it comes from. And I think a lot of people will be shocked that, luckily the factory farming is becoming more and more people are becoming aware of the conditions. It's like, if we're going to eat these animals, at least they should live
a good life
ethically. Not then never see the sun.
Those videos are heartbreaking.
Singed off beaks and
the biggest heartbreak are
basically
knowing how baby cattle live just to be produced as veal. They stuff them in a cage and don't allow them to move whatsoever. Like what kind of life is that? And hasn't there been research on all of the trauma that an animal goes through their process actually affects the meat?
You can the hormone, I think it's cortisol is the stress induced hormone. I'm not sure, but there are hormones that spike when you're stressed and scared, and like you eat their fear then because that was the last thing to spike in their tissues. And maybe that's why, and I mean it is a fact that cancer and heart disease is linked to these high animal-based protein diets. So that's what we talk about. The other part of it is the health component of it too. But
and if you don't,
none of us, I think most of us can agree, over the years, people have learned in this country that big corporations shouldn't control anything.
Yeah, right.
Especially what you put in your body. Because they screw up, they cover it up. You know, it's all about profits. And I get it.
Game changers
Yeah.
go into corporate farming.
We all want to make money, sure,
Yeah.
but like not at the expense of like.
It's very similar to the tobacco industry and how the tobacco industry did so well with just marketing, using vets and celebrities, athletes to try to sell a product that they knew very well was horrible.
No, the fossil fuel industry has used the same people.
Yeah, so
The same people as the cigarette companies to like try to confuse you. It's not about convincing you that oil's good or meat's good. It's about confusing you
Right.
so that you think it's not so bad or that what somebody else is saying is maybe not right. It's just about confusion.
right.
Kind of like Russian hackers in
Yeah.
our elections, just throwing out information that nobody can quite understand. Well, I ate all my chicken. What are you doing?
Well, I'm just waiting.
Oh.
But
I'll
yeah,
talk with my mouth full.
We definitely recommend.
But yeah, we had a few other things like, you know, composting is big at reducing carbon emissions. Shop locally,
Shop
we
locally
mentioned.
is huge, which is why we are eating
Farmers
locally.
markets, you know,
Right.
and like I said, even if you eat meat, like one of the things we do in the summer, we like to have a burger because we get together with our family and they eat meat and bison, get locally produced bison. It's healthier than beef. It's less destructive to the environment, and I think it tastes better than beef, frankly. Having a smaller family, yeah. I mean, humans have a big impact on the planet.
Well,
Reduce food waste.
Each person, I mean, that's the biggest thing is that each person is their carbon footprint. Individually is the
Humans
biggest-
obviously
is the
have a
biggest
huge impact.
Yeah.
Reducing food waste and eliminating single-use plastics. And a lot of that is like only so much that we can all do with like the single-use plastic. And I think we're at the point now where people realize plastic is bad, and most people realize that it's not recyclable at the level we thought. And that was just all.
That's another.
Most of us didn't
eye-opening
know. We all
documentary.
thought. How many of you? We all thought all these years we've been recycling plastic and feeling good about ourselves.
doing good.
And it's not actually recyclable, most of it. And what really was happening was China was buying it all, and then they stopped buying it because they didn't. Made so much of it, and now it's in the ocean. But like, how do you
microplastics?
We're at a point now where we have to just like ban it or really regulate it so that it's not even an option.
Right.
Because like I hate certain grocery stores that I shall not name. Like they'll only give you plastic, and I'm like, you know, because we have reusable bags, but you don't always remember them, and we just need to be better, I guess, at always having them in the car.
We were really excited to see that wherever you picked up strawberries from, finally boxed the strawberries in cardboard versus plastic. It's like, why aren't we doing this with all of our...
But then Driscoll's, if you're watching, I'm sure they are. This is awesome. Yeah, it should be in cardboard. I mean, it's got a little plastic film, but then right next to it was their same brand of blueberries that are still in that standard plastic.
Well, as long as they're slowly phasing the plastic out, then hey.
Yeah, because I don't think any of us care what container.
Cheers to that. Yeah. But Karen, hey, we're drinking Graham Beck South African Brut. It's actually really tasty.
Oh,
Pairs really well with Herbie's fried chicken.
Joe Bloggins brings up a good point. In Ontario, he says that they're banning single-use plastics by 2022.
Carol,
Banning, period.
Carol Matson, thank you for sharing the info on animals. Herbivorous butcher tastes better than real meat, and we agree.
And they do special stuff like at Thanksgiving. You can pick up faux turkeys from them.
Yep. And I guess another thing worth mentioning is that this weekend is Dining Out for Life.
Yeah, and they're 100% donations.
Which is huge. There's
Been
only
following me for a while.
select that are 100% donors, and they're one
for
of
a long
them.
time.
Saloon's another, so maybe we'll go to Saloon.
Yeah, maybe fully vaccinated.
Maybe we'll pick up some Herbivorous butcher and then head to Saloon for a cocktail.
Yeah. Well, and I do foresee, like, when we go to the cabin and visit my dad and all the family gets together this summer, we're going to bring some Herbivorous butcher meat. And
we're picking up his fried chicken.
Yeah.
For
Well,
sure.
that and bring some, like, faux burgers. What we should do is, like, actually submit a taste test to the family.
No, absolutely.
Because, like, my sister and brother-in-law live in Milwaukee. Sony's watching, and They're pretty big meat eaters, I think.
Dee Dee's lingering for more
Yeah,
fried
Dee
chicken.
clearly
She
wants
loves
more
it.
fried chicken. Don't you? Do you want fried chicken? Yes. She just licked her lips. She's like, I don't know, it's chicken to me.
So I mean, the only reason we bring this to everybody is, and why we're so big.
It's become an environmental thing.
Absolutely,
You know,
that's the
there's-
biggest thing is we're just looking.
I feel
out
like
for,
10, 20
we're
years
not going to
ago-
have kids, but we're looking out for our nieces and nephews and their kids and their grandkids. So if nothing else, it's for the future generations.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, like 10, 20 years ago, people, so I said maybe Owen will like it. Yeah, because my nephew Owen doesn't really like a lot of meat or eggs. So maybe
It's
this.
actually really good.
Yeah.
Try it when they open up May 21st.
Or you can go to their
Super
location
fantastic,
right in
or
Northeast.
The Herbivorous Butcher open for all your vegan, vegetarian options, and
They have Italian sausage. They've got faux like deli turkey. They've got all sorts of things.
yeah, but definitely pick up the ranch dressing.
That too.
Very good, very good. Well, hey, thanks for joining us, you guys. As
Did
always,
we reach 50 shares?
Oh, did we?
You gotta keep track of that. Don't leave them hanging. He's got to hit the refresh button.
We did not.
Oh,
but it's
nobody gets a
fine.
prize.
But hey,
But they have other ways to win the other prizes still, right?
yeah, thanks for the
'Cause that
the
goes till
reminder.
when?
Yeah, May 1st until May 1st, the premier giveaway one.
Saturday.
You can win. Next Sunday.
No, the first is Saturday.
Oh, maybe it's May 2nd then. Is the
I
is the
don't know.
deadline? We're announcing the grand prize winner next Sunday for our next episode of Dishin in the Kitchen.
It's the big
But
prize.
yes, the big prize. But you have a chance to win 10 different prizes. So if you go to premier-living.com/giveaway, all the prizes and how to enter are there. So yeah, you still have time to enter that way too.
Chantel, we do not go to Garrison anymore. That was my grandparents' cabin, and my uncle got that. So we go up there once a summer. My aunt and uncle will have the extended family, but now we go to northwestern Wisconsin where my parents bought a place.
Yes.
She's asking about Borden Lake. Beautiful Borden Lake. Have a good week, everybody.
Yes.
It's going to be warmer. Let's cross your fingers. We hit 70. That warm front gets at least to the Twin Cities. But if you're in St. Cloud or Duluth, sorry. Probably not. Okay.
Yeah, make it a fantastic week.
Eat your chicken.
Oh, it's very tasty.